There was a time that I walked away from Jesus because I was offended that he did not do what I asked him to do. I felt that he could have done something, but he didn't. And that decision to walk away from him led me into one of the most confusing, darkest seasons of my life. That season was dark. I didn't even recognize who I'd become. I thought leaving would give me some kind of relief, some kind of peace, but it led me into confusion, bad decisions, a version of myself that I never thought I'd become. Hello, friends. Welcome to the podcast with me, Brenda. Did I ever tell you about the time that I walked away from Jesus because I was offended? Yep, I was offended that he did not do what I asked him to do. I felt that he could have done something, but he didn't. And that decision to walk away from him led me into one of the most confusing, darkest seasons of my life. That season was dark. I didn't even recognize who I'd become. I thought leaving would give me some kind of relief, some kind of peace, but it led me into confusion, bad decisions, a version of myself that I never thought I'd become. I was just all over the place. I completely lost myself simply because I prayed a prayer and God did not answer the way I wanted him to answer. And because of that, I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm going. I left the presence of the Lord. The funny thing is that he never left me. Even when I stopped going to church, I stopped praying, I stopped doing any kind of activity to foster a relationship. I did not acknowledge him. I walked right into the world and it was a mess, basically. I was hurt because God did not do what I wanted him to do. I mean, like sometimes we think that we can do a better job at being God. That's a problem that I also like found. We think that we can do a better job at being God. And there are so many reasons why God will not answer prayers. I mean, it could be any of them. But we think with our own understanding. We think that God should answer at our call, at every call, and that He shouldn't allow us to go through anything, any hurtful stuff, that He should spare us from any kind of hurt. And this is not what the Lord has promised us. This is not the life that God has promised us. Truly, it isn't. So this expectation of life going smoothly all the time, I don't really know where this has crept up into our lives, into our Christian walk, because the Lord says that we must expect hard times, we must expect tribulation. He never lied. Jesus never lied to say that it's going to be smooth sailing. He never said that. So I put distance between him and I because of this, because he did not answer me when I wanted him to. And I pulled away slowly, and I pulled away quietly, and that distance, it just changed me. It really did. And I started making decisions that I never thought that I would make. I got into situationships, into relationships, into entanglements, child. That left me empty, that left me more confused, that left me even more broken. I was digging myself deeper and deeper into a hole. I mean, I went into the world, into the kingdom of darkness, into a place that I had no business being. I stepped right there, and like Satan was like, Atta girl, this is exactly where I want you, because now that you're in my kingdom, I can do with you as I please. And the scariest part is that it didn't feel wrong at first. So I just kept drifting. The distance just became wider and wider in my mind, even though the Lord was pursuing me the entire time. But I was like, you know what, I'm done with you, Lord. And one day I looked in the mirror and I was like, who are you? I had completely changed. I didn't know who I was. I didn't even recognize myself. Like the decisions that I was making, I got just deeper in sexual sin. I got deeper and deeper in depression. I got deeper and deeper into alcohol dependence. It was just, I got in a hole. It was a dark season in my life. It was so dark. In the beginning, I was like, oh, I'm being liberated. I've got freedom. I can do what I want, because all this came from a place because I had lost everything. This came from a season where I had, I think I've spoken about how I had lost my marriage. And then after that, I had lost my job. So I was like hurt. And so all of this was me rebelling against God to say, Lord, you didn't help me. You didn't save my marriage. You didn't save my job. How could you allow me to be going through this? So I was rebelling because I was like, God, you're not a good God. I was questioning his love for me because he did not do what I wanted him to do. There's a verse that also says that unless the Lord builds a house, those that build in vain. So there are so many reasons why the Lord will allow us to go through certain things, or why he won't answer our prayers. Mostly it is on our part, but because we do not understand, because we are thinking with our mind, which is sort of limited, we end up blaming every single thing on God, when God is like, but I wasn't involved in this. So this distance, it was getting bigger and bigger between me and God. Looking back on what I had gone through, it hit me to say, this means that I never really was rooted in Christ. Because from what I know now about him, in my spending time with him and just being intentional about, knowing who he is, versus back then, the fact that I walked away so easily, that I was swayed because of the trials of life, it shows me that I was never really rooted in Jesus, that he was never truly my anchor, that he was never my foundation, that I never really experienced him. Because one cannot truly experience Christ and then easily walk away as I did. Because when you know him, you have known truth. When you know him, you know that he is God. And I had to face the fact that I thought that I knew Jesus, but I didn't really back then. I thought that I knew who he was, but I truly did not. Because when you've got roots, life can throw what it wants, but you will not be shaken, you will not be swayed, because you're standing on the truth that God is still God. I might not understand what I'm going through right now, but God says that he is God and he is going to get me through this. I don't know what he's doing, but he's going to work all of this for my good. It doesn't matter what I'm going through right now. It may look bad. I may think that God does not love me, but that is not the truth. The truth is God says that he loves us. God says that he cares about us and has good plans, and that he works all things, all, even the bad, out for our good. Now, God does not cause bad things, but he will use the bad things to do something in us. Because when you're anchored in him, you do not walk away when you're offended. You wrestle, you cry, you seek, but you stay, because you're rooted, because you know that he is truth. I do not love or serve God because of what he can give me. We do not love and serve God because of what he can do for us, because of what the answers that he can give us. No, that is the wrong posture to have. If that is the posture that we're going to have, we are going to be very, very disappointed in this walk. We do not love him because of what he can do for us. We follow him and love him because he is truth and he saved us. We follow and love him because of his grace. We follow and love him because in his justice system, we were supposed to receive death, but someone else stepped in front of him and he received the death and he received the punishment. In his justice system, because of our sin, we were supposed to be punished and judged. His wrath was supposed to be poured out on us, but someone, another, took all the wrath of God. He took all the judgment of God. He took what is due to us. And this is why we love him. We love him because we did not deserve it. We did not earn it, but we still have it. We have got his love, his approval. We love him because he first loved us. We love him because one day we're going to spend eternity with him, and we didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to be punished. We just received this free gift. So this is why we love the Lord. Not because of him answering our prayers or not. We do not judge the love of God based on the circumstances that we're going through. If we are going to judge the Lord based on what we're going through, we're going to live a very, very frustrated life. And this is what Paul meant when he said that, he has learned the secret to being happy. It means that you must be content in all circumstances. Whether you have a lot, you're content. Whether you have literally you're content. Whether you are fighting a battle, you're content. Where there's peace, you're content. Learning to be content in all circumstances, trusting the love of God, trusting the providence of God, trusting the plans of the Lord. This is the secret to walking this life out without frustration. Otherwise, frustration is going to be our best friend. If we're going to judge God based on the circumstances that our lives are exhibiting, based on our circumstances, if this is how we're going to judge God's love, then we have missed the plot, because God's love is not based on the circumstances. God's love is based on the unseen that He has done, the fact that He has reconciled us back to Himself, the fact that an innocent Jesus who became a man had to take upon the sins of the world, not even the church, the world, upon Himself. This is what kind of love is that one should lay down his life for another. It's one thing laying down your life for someone who's innocent. Jesus had to lay down His life for people that were guilty. What kind of love is that? He didn't have to do it, but He did it to bring us closer. And now we've got this access to the Father. And now we get to have relationship with Him and fellowship with Him. And one day we get to spend eternity with Him, even though we were sinners, even though we did not deserve it. But God was like, I love you guys so much. I'm going to come down there myself and take upon myself your punishment. I mean, if that doesn't make you love Jesus, what will? And this is what excites me, that, Lord, who am I that you're so mindful of me? Who am I that you're so thoughtful of me? Who am I that even after I rebelled, you kept on coming after me? Even after I stopped speaking to you, you never stopped speaking to me. Even after I left you, you never left me. And I wanted to encourage you today. Do not walk away based on offense. That season, as I said, it was just the most destructive season of my life, and I'm still reeling from the consequences of those decisions. And God is still healing and He's still delivering from the consequences of that decision, because I walked away from light and I went into the darkness out of my own accord, out of my own will, because I was offended at God. And this is why the devil wants. He wants us to be offended at God, because then he can have us, and then he can have access. Then we're opening up doors for him to oppress us. And this is what I did. I opened up doors for him to oppress me. And oppress me he did, child. Oppress me he did. So what are you going through today? So if you've been offended or you've been disappointed and you're thinking about walk away, from me to you, do not. This is my plea to you. Do not. Don't let one unanswered prayer, one offense, pull you from the one who's got every plan for your life in His hands. The one who gave you life. Let one and any offense pull you away from Him. Be honest with God, how you feel about it. God can handle it. Be honest with God. But I've learned that there's no point in me hiding, because Jesus sees my heart. So when I'm disappointed, I tell Him. I tell Him. When I'm upset, I tell Him. Because this is the kind of relationship that I have with Him now, where I can be completely frank with Him. So be honest if you're hurt. Tell Him truly He can handle it. But do not disconnect. Do not disconnect. Stay. Because walking away will cost you more than you think. I kid you not. Walking away and going into Satan's playground is going to cost you more than you think. If you're in that place right now, lost, confused, feeling far from Him, just know that you can come back. It's never too late. You can come back right now. You're never ever too far. He never changes His mind about you. He will never change His mind about you. And nothing is beyond redemption. This is the beauty about God. Nothing is beyond redemption. There's no place that you can go that God cannot come and pull you out of. I was in the darkest, deepest hole that I dug for myself, but the Lord's hand, His light came and it pulled me out. And then I can testify, I had reached rock bottom, and the Lord, if it wasn't for the Lord, I wouldn't even be here testifying. If it wasn't for God, I would literally not be here alive testifying. This is how deep things work for me because of rebellion, because I was offended at God, because I played right into the hands of Satan. And he was like, just rubbing his hands, waiting for me to come, and he did his best work. So if this spoke to you, comment. I'm coming back, or I'm staying. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. You are never too far gone. See you in my next videos. Bye.